Yo, what's up guys, John Boogle here, and we got the Crazed Cat in-depth guide, the Redux in-depth guide. Let's get right into it. You do not need any true forms, you don't need any Ubers. All you need for this level is at least level 20 units, and of course, the main thing here that's very big is having the right amount of meat shields. 2 little meat shields or stallers makes it to where Crazed Cat can move up forward a lot quicker and get to your attackers like Paris, Dragon, and Bahamut. Speaking of those 3 attackers, those are our attackers for of course the level here. And it's a very flexible lineup, so you can bring other attackers like Hacker Cat, very nice for this stage. If you do have it, Cyberpunk can carry the stage. Filling the lineup with some Ubers can be very nice as well for taking out the enemies that support Crazed Cat, stuff like the Laboyne and of course the Teacher Bear. Figure Skating Cat's also very nice substitute unit for Paris, or you could pair it with Paris. I don't have it on this account, but Driller Cat is also a very nice unit for the stage. So if you have that, bringing that will help out a lot, because of course there's really no way to crowd control Crazed Cat unless you bring Sniper Cat power up, or if you're using Cyberpunk. But what we're using in this lineup here is of course Magica Cat, which works perfectly fine at level 10, and it does the job of Driller but at a cheaper cost, and it of course focuses more on Crazed Cat other than the units behind Crazed Cat. So yeah, not having Ururun Wolf or Cyberpunk here to crowd control Crazed Cat, we gotta use that Magica Weaken, which is very helpful. Now of course, if you don't have Cube Cat, you can replace it with any other staller that is cheap, stuff like Pump Cat, Coin Cat, Little Wall even. And if you have Artist Cat, of course this is a very nice cat to use in the stage. With of course Magica weakening Crazed Cat, Artist will be able to tank multiple hits. Now the strategy in the level of course is pretty much the same. All you need to do in the beginning here is stack Crazed Bahamut. The ideal number to go for here is 3 stacked Crazed Bahamuts, but 2 does work fine through my testing. Now a big thing of course when you do stack your Crazed Bahamuts is to make sure they aren't synced up. Because of course having desynced Bahamuts, making sure your Bahamuts don't attack at the exact same time, lets the other Bahamuts to hit the units that are behind Crazed Cat when the Crazed Cat pushes forward. So it's very important to desync your Crazed Bahamuts so you can get those extra hits in on the units or enemies behind the Crazed Cat with ease. Now as for how to desync your A Bahamut, of course you want to make sure to send out your next Bahamut when of course the Bahamut that's already on the field finishes the attack animation. Basically, you just want to make sure that the Crazed Bahamuts that you have stacked up don't trigger their attack animation at the exact same time. If they're desynced, they have a higher chance of hitting the units that are behind Crazed Cat when the Crazed Cat pushes forward, which is very important in the level. Another thing to keep in mind is not to use your cat cannon, because you want to keep those peons there to keep Bahamut in place. If it does come to a situation where you need to stack a Bahamut but you don't have enough time, not sending out wall cats and letting the peons knock back Bahamut a bit back is very helpful for stacking up even more Bahamuts, so do keep that in mind. But once you are really close to the base, that's when you really want to start pushing forward and sending out all of your meat shields, because you want to make sure your meat shields or your stallers are up there in time. Otherwise, you have 3 Bahamuts stacked up just waiting in death range without any protection. The cat's CPU power-up is pretty helpful for the second half of this level, because of course you're going to get a huge amount of cash and you're just going to be constantly cat spamming everything really. And yeah, you guessed it, at this point it is pretty much just cat spam. If you want to be extremely efficient, you could disable the Sniper Cat power-up if you're using it of course, every time Bahamut is attacking, so you do not miss a Bahamut attack. Otherwise, Magica should be up there and getting those weakens every now and then on Crazed Cat, as you can see, and that allows our attackers to take multiple hits from Crazed Cat, and of course it slows down the pushing force of Crazed Cat. And as you can see right there, this is why it's very important to desync your Bahamuts, because as you saw, the first 2 Bahamut hits were not able to reach the Laboyne in the back, but the third Bahamut that was out of sync was able to, of course, hit the Laboyne in the back and kill it. Another thing you can do is, of course, stack Hacker Cat instead of Bahamut Cat in the beginning of the level. If you are using Hacker Cat, of course, that is also a way to go in this level, but really level 20 Crazed Bahamut is enough. Once you do have them stacked up and desynced, it is able to handle all of the annoying enemies behind Crazed Cat, and Crazed Cat itself doing that large amount of burst damage and being able to get the damage knockbacks on Crazed Cat when your sniper isn't getting those knockbacks or when your cat cannon is not up. Dragon will also act as a protection for Crazed Bahamut, being able to stand in front of Crazed Bahamut and of course take out any pesky peons in the way of triggering Crazed Bahamut's attack. Also, it is very good DPS when stacked up. Same with Paris, fills the same role really. And of course, Meatshield Cat weakening Crazed Cats will allow our attackers to take multiple hits like mentioned before, even if they are at level 20 or level 25. And Meatshield Cat does not need to be at level 25, level 10 works just fine like shown in this guide right here. The crowd control effect does not scale with the level, so weaken does not scale with level, so upgrading your Meatshield Cat to level 30 doesn't increase its chance or ability to weaken enemies, so keeping it at level 10 is fine for now. True Form Meatshield Cat is a very helpful unit for the Manic variant of the stage, of course Manic Mohawk, but in Crazed Cat you just need it at level 10. Even level 1 works, but I found that at level 10 it doesn't die from the smaller peons, so level 10 is the ideal. But that's pretty much all the strategy in the stage. The rest is just cat spam until Crazed Cat is dead. Of course, this and Crazed Fish, arguably the two easiest Crazed Cats to obtain, of course, even before Into the Future 1 and Ururun Wolf like we're doing here. The big thing in this level is, of course, having the right level units above level 20, I would say, is the ideal. Nothing below level 20. Do not attempt this stage with below level 20 units. And the other thing is, of course, the beginning of the level. The most important part is, of course, stacking up your Crazed Bahamuts. Because if you do that incorrectly, it'll mess up the whole flow of the level and everything will just spiral into madness. Unless you are using the help of Ubers. Of course, there's many Ubers that work in the stage. You could pretty much use any Uber in this stage that has similar range to Crazed Bahamut, and they might just really help out for just some extra damage. LD Ubers being especially nice because you can stack them up in the beginning of the level. Stuff like Aphrodite you can just stack up in the beginning of the level. But yeah, that pretty much wraps up Crazed Cat, the in-depth Redux guide for Crazed Cat. Of course, no true forms needed, no Ubers needed, just level 20 units at least, and the help of Meatshield Cat, and bam, you got Crazed Cat. But yeah, drop a like if this guide helped you out. Of course, subscribe if you're new, join the hashtag Boogle gang. It's been John Boogle, and more Crazed Redux guides soon. See ya!